Think about the last time you paid for a coffee with cash. Chances are the change you got back went straight to the bottom of a cup holder or dropped loudly into a jar on the counter. We treat coins as cheap, dirty nuisances. For thousands of years, standardized coins provided a highly portable way to transport and trade value across borders. Because these disks concentrated a nation's liquid wealth into a small physical format, they became the primary targets for theft and systemic fraud. A simple monarch's face pressed into a flat piece of silver failed to protect a national treasury from clever thieves. Fraudsters constantly found ways to drain an empire's wealth without ever breaking into a single vault. To fight back, governments had to innovate. If you look closely at the change in your pocket, you are looking at a densely packed piece of defensive technology. Every scratch, physical ridge, and specific curve on its surface serves a distinct mechanical purpose. The entire physical structure is meticulously engineered to outsmart criminals at every turn. The defense begins at the absolute outer edge. We accept that coins are round, but that specific geometry solves a critical physical problem. A circle eliminates sharp corners that can snap off or break down, ensuring the metal wears away entirely evenly over decades of friction. That circular design is also mechanically optimal for automation. A perfect circle slides flawlessly into an automated slot and rolls seamlessly through the complicated tracks of modern sorting machines. Take a look at these pure gold and silver Roman coins. In the ancient world, physical currency held intrinsic value. You didn't trust a government's paper promise. You trusted the physical weight of the precious metal in your hand. This graphic demonstrates the primary vulnerability of that early system. Dishonest merchants would carefully shave undetectable amounts of silver off the smooth, uniform edges. They hoarded the dust to melt down, passing the lighter coin back into the economy, a practice known as coin clipping. To counter this, mints milled deep ridges directly into the perimeter. If someone sheared the edge, the missing ridges broke the pattern. This produced a permanent, tactile anti-tampering seal. Any merchant could run their thumb along the rim and instantly feel if the metal had been compromised. This anti-theft measure from the 17th century established a design standard that remains the dominant physical characteristic of metal currency today. Moving inward from the ridged rim, the flat face of the metal offers its own physical defenses. Some mints even deploy deliberate negative space by punching out the center of the surface. This is the Japanese 5-yen coin, which utilizes a deliberate hole. Historically, this void allowed citizens to tightly secure large sums of a carrying string. Today, that stark topological absence allows visually impaired individuals to identify the exact denomination instantly by touch. On solid surfaces, mints conceal micro-security features right out in the open. They etch microscopic lettering along the borders and stamp incredibly dense, overlapping textures directly into the portraits. Replicating that specific topography requires highly specialized heavy machinery. A criminal casting fakes in a basement mold and not generate the immense industrial pressure required to stamp lines thinner than a single human hair. These complex heights and raised lines are functional barriers. They ensure that a counterfeit can only be produced by a machine capable of exerting the same massive industrial force used by a national mint. Below the engraved topography lies a final layer of defense, hidden entirely within the atomic structure. As precious metals became too expensive, modern mints shifted to producing durable alloys out of steel, zinc, and nickel. This exact proprietary blend of cheap metals generates a distinct acoustic vibration. Drop a legitimate quarter on a table alongside a lead fake, and you will hear an immediate difference in the ring. In addition to their unique sound profile, these modern alloys generate incredibly specific engineered magnetic fields. This diagram illustrates how modern hardware exploits those invisible signatures. When metal drops into a scanner, automated sensors listen for the acoustic ping and scan the magnetic field. If the signature is off by a fraction, a trapdoor rejects the fake. The most sophisticated anti-fraud engineering doesn't rely on visual markings at all. It operates seamlessly down at the atomic level. Society has spent decades actively moving away from physical currency. We handle cash far less often, heavily relying on swiping plastic and transmitting digital signals across mobile networks to manage our wealth. But those digital payment grids carry a fatal vulnerability. They rely entirely on functional electricity, require charged batteries, and unbroken internet connections to verify your identity and your balance. When a blackout hits or a massive server fails, digital commerce immediately stops. A single piece of stamped metal, however, acts as a fail-proof, grid-independent technology. It proves its exact value using its own internal physics, completely indifferent to power outages. Run your thumb over the ridges and notice the specific density of the metal. It is a self-contained fortress of engineering that works in the palm of your hand, completely independent of the digital grid.